No contact rule explain how it works, why it works, when to break it. Everything you need to know about no contact is in this video. My name is Alexis. I'm the avoidant therapist. If you recently broke up with your partner, you need to watch this video. So if you're not aware of what no contact is, here's the definition. It's a period of zero communication after a breakup. The reason I advise people to go no contact is because it's helping you detaching emotionally to gain perspective. When you are breaking up with someone, there's an entanglement of emotions. It's very hard to see clearly about what we want, to detach ourselves from the feelings and also the reality of the relationship. Also helping you to heal. Regardless whether you want to get back with your ex or not, it's important to have this phase to recover, to heal on your own, finding the resources, the tools to overcome this change. And it provides space for self-reflection and personal growth. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 major psychological concepts explaining the role of no contact, the reward system, processing memory, and pain response. I'll put the link of the studies in the description, as always, if you want to refer to it. Everything that I do is always backed by studies, things that has been proven. I'm not saying go no contact because I've done it with my wife and it works and she came back and now we have 2 kids. No, I'm saying this because I've seen and I've read studies of scientists, of psychologists who did studies on the brain, on social studies, etc., really explaining how we function. I also make those videos because I'm a strong believer that we can benefit so much from learning on how we function as human beings, learning how our brains function, our nervous system functions, our emotions, etc. If you want to be better partners, better people, you need to understand psychology. Let's start with this element of addiction. Love is an addiction. Romantic love activates exactly the same part of the brain that's called the reward system brain. And so when you break up with someone is taking away this reward system, right? And that's why we feel those withdrawal symptoms exactly the same way where you would be a smoker and you stop cold turkey from one day to another. It's going to be very hard to deal with this because you have this reward system in place. And so what's going on is when you go no contact, at the beginning it's tough, but it helps you recalibrate your system and sort of disrupt this craving. At the beginning, you're going to have this craving, this urge to reach out. After 1 or 2 weeks, you will normalize things. You will readapt yourself to living your life on your own and won't feel this sort of addiction. Usually about 2 to 3 weeks, you feel this way. And then you can do the work. Let me explain what we need to do afterwards. The idea of forgetting, the memory, the contribution to experimental psychology from, his name is very complicated, Ebbinghaus. What happens is that we have what's called emotional grip. When we are highly invested emotionally with something, if it's something very recent, it's very hard to detach ourselves. So what happens is when you create a space, when you're not in touch, the point of no contact is, in a way, live your life as if your ex never existed. I know it's hard, but that's the idea. It's to really force yourself, he or she doesn't exist. At least for the next 3 months, they don't exist. And by doing that, you will the forgetting curve, you will start forgetting. You're gonna forget your ex, but the emotional attachment linked to the relationship will reduce, right? And this mental fixation will erode over time. So the thing is, no contact will accelerate this process. If you're always in touch, you're always getting back to the baseline. So you're gonna start forgetting and then get back. Start forgetting and then get back. Now, when I'm saying this, you might be thinking like, yeah, but then if I go no contact, they'll forget me. What I'm saying forgetting is, again, the emotional grip of the relationship. Your ex won't forget you if you go no contact for 3 months. Let's say you were together for 10 years and you go no contact for 6 months, for a year, they're never going to forget you. And if you think about it, you never forgot your exes, right? You always remember the people you dated, people that mattered. So don't feel like, oh, if I go no contact, they disappear, they would. No. it's the emotional impact. And that's what you need right now, especially if you have a hard time dealing with this breakup. So that's the second psychological concept. Third one is that the pain is as if it's a physical pain. The region of the brain activated is exactly the same region as a physical pain. So the thing is, again, we have this withdrawal syndrome, we have this pain element, and what we want to do, the instinct is like, if we get back together, I won't feel this pain anymore, right? But by doing that, you're reactivating the reward system, you're reactivating the memory system. What we have to do is to create that space to allow yourself some time to, again, ease the pain. Yes, it's painful at the beginning. Again, at the beginning, it's very painful. And learning every single day to feel better on your own, to feel better not having the validation. And I know it's hard. I know it's an adaptation, and that's why it takes a bit of time for people to get into the contact properly, but it's going to pay off. And I will explain why in a second. So first of all, it will stop the emotional triggers. What's keeping you stuff is the emotional trigger. Is when you see a picture from them, is when you hear or when you have a thought about them, you're going to get back to the relationship, back to the breakup. So thoughts are harder to control, but text, SMS, post on social media are things you can control. So removing those things will remove the opportunities for you to feel triggered. As we discussed, it's an addiction, so going into contact will break the addiction. You also reduce the pain and the anxiety that we have when we get in touch with someone. We expect something from that person and they don't deliver, right? At this stage, you want to get back together. You want to discuss the relationship, maybe. You want to discuss about what happened. But when you do, they are cold, they are distant, they're not really clear. And at the end of the day, you don't get what you need. And that would make you feel worse than before. So you have to, and I know it's very system 2 brain, like really rational part of the brain that you need to understand, is that right now it's probably not your gut feel, because you feel like, oh yeah, but if I only have news, that will reassure me. Yes, but deep inside, that's not what you need. What you need is clarity. And perhaps right now, he or she's not ready to give you that clarity. Also, when you are not in touch with your ex, you control your own life. You are the one deciding of what to do, of what to think. When you're in touch with an ex, in a way, anytime you send a message, you give back the control to them. See it as a ping pong game. You throw the ball on their side, and until they reply to you, you're like up in the air, don't know exactly what to do, anxious about the answer, etc. That's the worst thing that you could do. And by doing that, by creating that space, by taking care of yourself primarily, you will improve your confidence and develop this element of independence, which is very important if you have an anxious attachment style. Perhaps it's the first time ever you're on your own, and well, it's never too late to learn. That's really helpful. Even if you want to get back together or considering another relationship, you need to develop a form of interdependence in your next relationship, and therefore you need to be okay being on your own. And again, I'm not saying you should stay on your own for the next 10 years. It's really a challenge, something that you have to do for a few months just to experiment this and develop those coping mechanisms, healthy coping mechanisms that will be helpful in your next relationship. Can it help getting back with your ex? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense of, usually if you're watching this video, you've tried to talk them out, you've begged, you pleaded, etc. Usually this doesn't work. So doing the opposite can't harm, but that's not a silver bullet. The reason I recommend people to go into contact is not to get back with your ex, is to process the breakup, is to set up the right boundaries, is to create the right relationship. Because this is something you can control. This is something you can develop. Getting back with your ex depends also on your ex. You can only create the right dynamic and the right settings. Then we have to assess whether your ex, maybe because of their insecurities, their fear of commitment, maybe because of other things that are happening in their life or in the relationship, they won't give you what you want. They won't make the effort. And this we need to accept that we can't control. Will your ex forget you? No. Let me put it this way, very simply, no. But the thing is, the reason you're asking yourself this question is a sign that you're not there yet in terms of the work that needs to be done. You need to redirect your attention towards you. What do you need? What do you want? What will make you happy? And when you ask those questions, you, never ever you should include your ex. No, this shouldn't be conditional to whatever your ex will be doing, potentially in a hypothetical future, etc., etc. What do you need right now? And fill the gap. Maybe pause the video, take some time. What do you need right now? What's the ideal relationship? The other day I had a call with someone on a discovery call, and she was explaining me her situation. Quite problematic. And I told her, okay, forget about your partner, forget about your ex. How does it look like, the right relationship for you? Because initially she had other aspirations and she changed. She wanted to have a different relationship, wanted to be more committed. So I asked her, how does it look like? We live together, we share time together, we go on holidays together, we can do family times, going to Christmas at my family, we support each other, I'm here, I'm here for him, and he's here for me when I don't feel great, etc. I can call him when I'm sad or depressed, etc. And I told her, like, okay, I'm pretty sure none of this is happening in your relationship. She said, yeah, none of it. And so the point is to have those reflections, challenge the status quo of, like, we've been doing this forever, for a long time, not forever, for a long time. And, like, was it really the right thing? And maybe you've changed, right? It happens. Maybe you've changed. Maybe 5 years ago you were okay with this, but you want things to change, you want things to evolve. And maybe you're a new person, you have new needs, new desires, you want kids, and before you didn't, things happen. Okay, how far is it? And once you're clear about what you want, then as you develop a secure base, so it's basically my approach, like helping my clients to create that secure base and assess whether this new relationship, this ideal relationship, will meet somewhere your partner, your ex, whether there's an overlap. Maybe there's going to be a tiny overlap, and usually it's quite hard to sustain unless the other one is making a step towards you. Maybe there's no overlap. And it's not a question of feelings, it's not a question of chemistry, it's just not the right relationship. You will not be happy in this relationship. So it's very important to be clear on those things, and that's why no contact is helpful, because it's creating the right space for you to have that reflection. If you have any question on this, let me know in the comment section. If you want to have a chat with me, there should be a link somewhere to discuss this with me. And by the way, I forgot to mention, I always forget to mention, if you like what I'm doing and you want to support, don't hesitate to subscribe. It does help me a lot to promote my content to a lot of people. I know sometimes in the comments I say, oh yeah, you should have more viewers, more subscribers, etc. Well, here's my call to you. If you're watching this and find my videos helpful, please, that will help me tremendously. When should you break no contact? That's a bit of the question. The thing is, I get why you want to get in touch with your ex. It makes sense. You also, the point of the objective should be a mutual objective of, okay, it didn't work. Let's work out a plan. Let's discuss how to address things. However, the problem is when you reach out, when you break no contact, with the expectation that you will hear the right words, that you will get an apology, that you'll get accountability from your partner, you're usually disappointed. By experience, people are usually disappointed. That doesn't mean that you should not break no contact, but be prepared that you might be disappointed by your ex's reaction. Now, the initial response is not necessarily the final answer. So sometimes people go very carefully, especially if they're avoidant. The point is, after few weeks, you need to ensure that you are in line, or they are in line with what you want. So, in other words, break no contact when you feel ready emotionally. And when you do, see it as a process of few weeks of trying to reconcile, and set yourself a deadline, because you don't want to be in the phase of breadcrumbing or situationship for 6 months. That doesn't make sense. So break no contact if you feel you want to break no contact, knowing that you might not get the words, the apology that you deserve, but also knowing that if they're reaching out, it's about like first step towards a potential reconciliation. So cases where you should not break no contact is when you think, oh yeah, again, I heard this tip from this guy on YouTube, very nice guy, just gonna go no contact for 60 days. I've seen like rules now, 90 days, 60 days. And I'm just gonna reach out and they'll be back. They'll be crawling back to me. The thing is, when you do like this, you won't be yourself emotionally, you won't have the right mindset. If you're watching my videos, it's really about emotional maturity. So funnily enough, my clients are slightly older than me. And I know they appreciate what I'm saying because it's based on how can we respectfully build the right relationship. We don't want to play games here. We don't want to manipulate the person. We don't want to act because we feel lonely or we want to win the breakup. They made me suffer and I want to return this to you. The no contact is for you. It's not for them, it's for you. That's very important. So when you're going to contact, you do it because you are convinced that this is the right thing you need to do for yourself. This is what you deserve. So practical ways to succeed at no contact, boundaries. So block social media, remove them from your phone and their phone number, for example. Fill your time with hobbies, friends, family, self-care routines. Really, it's your me time. Me. It's not about them, it's about you. You can also journal your emotions. It's something that I do with my clients on WhatsApp. When they are in no contact, rather than thinking, like, oh yeah, what should I do? What should I say? They write it to me. And I help them unpack their emotions and label their emotions and process those things. So gradually they start this cognitive reappraisal of building that resilience, of reflecting on the relationship. Again, if you feel every single day is a challenge, every single day is difficult, find someone who can help you, whether it's a local therapist, whether it's myself, anyone. Don't stay on your own if you feel anxious, if you feel you can't go to work, if you feel you can't sleep. Having someone in your team is usually a game changer. So don't hesitate. It's an investment on your well-being. It's an investment on also how you would sort of make your life decisions, your next relationships, and so on. Also, sometimes people feel like, oh, okay, it's tough, but they forget that it's a journey and they forget to celebrate when they make achievements, whether it's professionally, whether it's personally. And that's why you need to have a plan. That's why you need to have some sort of support. Again, not necessarily with a therapist, but having the feeling that you're progressing. And whenever you make that progress, celebrate, look back. Usually what I say to my clients is that after a few weeks when we work together, it's like, okay, look at the thread of our messages. Look how anxious, how unsure, the lack of confidence. Look at the questions you asked me. And then look at today. And usually you feel, okay, I didn't realize, So it's very important for you to pause and maybe once every 2 weeks, reflect back, look at hold on. What was I doing at that time on that Sunday evening 2 weeks ago when we just broke up? What about now? Of course, it's really about the progression, Maybe it's going to be a tiny little progression, but that's enough. What we want is progression. What we want is like every single day, you're better than the day before. Few thoughts. No contact will help you reclaim that emotional independence. For me, maybe people will disagree, but for me, it's a tool to heal. That's not a revenge or manipulation. Maybe you can use that, for you, but that's not how I do it. When you break it too soon, you reset the progress. You need enough time to process things, to build that resilience, to develop a secure attachment style, for example. Healing takes time, but that's the only way for you to gain that clarity, to design the relationship that you deserve. Maybe that's with your ex, maybe that's with someone else. I don't know. If you're not sure, call me and I'll probably help you figure out what to do next. If you have any questions on this, let me know in the comment section and I'll see you next time. Take care.